Hey everybody, it's Taylor with Boydston Grove, and today we're going to show you how to make not one, not two, four. He's going to show you how to make 4 fall projects. Get there a little quicker, man. Let's get into it. Let's get into it, I guess. Our first project is going to be a couple of trivets. I used a plank of wood that I salvaged from an old dresser along with some templates that I made on Photoshop. I cut the board down to size on the miter saw and then moved to the bandsaw to cut the shapes out. If you happen to see our tortilla press video, then you probably remember how my bandsaw kind of bit the bullet. Well, I've made a few adjustments and tried to fix a few things, so we're going to give it a shot and see if it'll work. Fingers crossed. Sadly, it was a no-go. The blade just won't hold enough tension anymore.
It was worth a shot.
So I shifted over to the jigsaw to cut them out. I used a few different bits in my palm router to route out the lettering and design freehand, and then put a chamfer on the top and bottom edges. I'll leave a link to the carving bits that I used in the description. Maybe you're not interested in carving out the letters like this, or you don't have access to a palm router and the bits, but you could also do this with a CNC, or you could use an ink transfer process, which we have a full tutorial on doing ink transfers. I'll make sure to leave a link to that video in the description below. I decided to use a torch on one of the trivets to see what it would look like, and then I sanded them down. Originally, I wanted to put rubber feet on the trivets, but the heat of the torch was causing the seams of the wood to open up, so I cut a few small boards and attached them to the bottoms to keep everything together. I finished them off with some boiled linseed oil, and our first project is done. For the second project, I used a rough cut piece of pallet wood. I started by cutting all the sides smooth on the table saw. Then I attached some templates I made and figured I would try to cut them out on the scroll saw. The wood was way too thick to cut on the scroll saw, so I went back to the jigsaw again. I used a 1.5 inch Forstner bit to drill approximately 1/2 inch deep on all the tea light candle holders. I used the router to cut out a few details on 2 of the tea light holders, but for the maple leaf one, I just took it over to the bench sander and tapered all the ends of the leaf. After a bunch of sanding, I used some wipe-on polyurethane for the finish. For the third project, I'm going to be using these oak planks that I salvaged from an old filing cabinet. Now, oak's not necessarily my favorite wood, but it happens to be the dimensions that I want, and oak is a really strong wood, and it's free. I attached more templates, and after cutting the boards down on the miter saw, I decided to go straight to the jigsaw to cut them out. If you're interested in making any of these projects, we have the templates for all of them available over on our website. I'll make sure to leave a link in the description below. Again, I used my router to carve out some details and lettering. After all the coasters were carved, I put a round over on the top and bottom edges. After a crazy amount of sanding, I applied a coat of wipe-on polyurethane, and our coasters are complete. For our final project, I'm going to be making some pumpkin-shaped home decor, and I'm going to show you 2 different ways to do it. Now, this project makes really good porch leaners, or you can hang them on a wall or put them on a mantle. You can make them any color you want or any size you want, so this is a very versatile project. I blew up the template that I used for the Trivets and traced it out on some plywood. I used 2 cedar fence pickets for both of the pumpkins, cutting them down to 1 3/4 inch strips. Then I cut them to various lengths on the miter saw. For the first one, I professionally mounted my router to the top of my workbench and put a chamfer on the top edge of all the pieces.
Totally safe.
Then I attach them to my plywood backing in a chevron pattern using glue and brad nails. I cut off the excess with the jigsaw and then put a chamfer around the top edge. And then I added a coat of wipe-on polyurethane. The second one won't need a backing. I just laid the pieces out and attached some strips across the back. The brad nails that I had ended up not being long enough to give a strong hold, so I went back and added some screws and cut out my shape. After some sanding, I added some gray stain and then went back over it with mineral spirits to give it a worn, farm fresh look. Alright, all of our fall projects are finished and I'm really happy with the end result of all of them. I really did a lot of routing on a lot of these, as you saw, especially on the coasters. I just really wanted to hone in on my freehand routing, but you don't have to use that technique to put the lettering on any one of these. There's many other techniques you can use to put the lettering on these projects. As far as the burning goes, I think it was kind of unnecessary because, as you can see, I sanded most of it off, and in the end, the grain on the one that I didn't burn, it just stands out enough without anything extra being done to it. As far as my favorite, I'm kind of torn between these porch leaners, or decor, whatever you want to call them, and the tea light holders, because those were the two of the easiest projects, and yet I just really like the impact that they make. They came out really nice. If you want to make any of these for yourself, we have the templates for all these projects over on our website, so make sure to hit the link below. Let me know in the comments below which one of these projects is your favorite, and we work on a new project every week, so make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Thank you very much for watching, be safe, and have a great day.